The dark story of Harold Shipman. Imagine trusting your doctor with your life. A man who smiles at you, checks your pulse, and writes a prescription. But what if that same doctor was secretly deciding who lives? Andrudice. This is the chilling story of Dr. Harold Shipman, a respected British physician who turned out to be one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. For years, no one suspected him. Patients trusted him. Families respected him. The community admired him. But behind the white coat was a man responsible for over 200 suspected murders. And the scariest part? Most of his victims died inside their own homes, believing their doctor was there to help them. Call to action. Before we uncover this terrifying case, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Real Files of Crimes, and turn on notifications. Cause we bring you the most shocking real crime stories from around the world. Now, let's open the dark file of Harold Shipman. Chapter 1. The Man Behind the Mask. Harold Shipman was born on January 14, 1946. In Nottingham, England. He grew up in a working-class family and was known as a quiet but intelligent child. But one tragic event during his teenage years would deeply affect him. His mother died from lung cancer. During her illness, doctors frequently injected her with morphine to ease the pain. Young Harold watched closely as those injections brought immediate relief. That moment would later influence the way he killed. Years later, Shipman studied medicine and became a general practitioner, commonly known as a family doctor. By the late 1970s, he was working in hospitals and clinics across England. To the outside world, he appeared professional, calm, and trustworthy. But beneath the surface, something was terribly wrong. Chapter 2. Early Warning Signs. Before becoming a notorious killer, Shipman already had a troubling history. In 1976, he was caught forging prescriptions for a powerful opioid drug called pethidine. He was addicted to the drug and had been illegally prescribing it for himself. Shipman was fined and briefly treated for addiction. Shockingly, he was allowed to continue practicing medicine, and that decision would later cost hundreds of lives. Chapter 3. The Perfect Killing Method. By the early 1990s, Shipman was running his own medical practice in the town of Hyde. His patients trusted him completely. Most of them were elderly women who lived alone. Shipman developed a chilling method. He would visit patients at home, inject them with lethal doses of morphine or diamorphine, and calmly watch as they died. Then he would simply declare the death as natural causes. Because he was a doctor, his word was rarely questioned. After the deaths, Shipman sometimes altered medical records to make the death appear natural, and in some cases, he even forged wills, leaving money or property to himself. For years, the murders went unnoticed. Chapter 4. Suspicion begins. In the late 1990s, something strange started attracting attention. A local undertaker noticed that too many of Shipman's patients were dying suddenly. Even more disturbing, many victims were found sitting peacefully in chairs, fully dressed, almost as if they had died instantly. A fellow doctor also noticed the unusually high death rate among Shipman's patients. But early investigations failed to prove anything. Shipman continued practicing medicine, and the killings continued. Chapter 5. The case that exposed everything. The turning point came in 1998. One of Shipman's patients, Kathleen Grundy, was found dead at home. She was a healthy 81-year-old former mayor. Her sudden death shocked the community. But things became even more suspicious when her daughter discovered something shocking. Her mother's will had been recently changed, and the entire estate, worth nearly £400,000, was left to Dr. Harold Shipman. The daughter immediately contacted police. The investigation began. Chapter 6: The Investigation. When police exhumed Kathleen Grundy's body, forensic tests revealed something terrifying. Her body contained extremely high levels of morphine, a drug that had no medical reason to be in her system. Investigators searched Shipman's clinic. They discovered that medical records had been altered after the patient's death. Computer data showed Shipman had modified the files to make it appear that the patient was sick before dying, but forensic experts recovered the original data, and that data exposed the truth. Shipman had been editing records after people died. Chapter 7: The Arrest. In September 1998, police finally arrested Dr. Harold Shipman. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered something horrifying. Dozens of deaths linked to Shipman looked suspiciously similar. Victims were mostly elderly women. Most died alone with Shipman present, and nearly all deaths were recorded as natural causes. Authorities began exhuming bodies. Evidence of lethal drug injections appeared again and again. Chapter 8: The Trial. Shipman's trial began in October 1999 at the Preston Crown Court. Prosecutors accused him of 15 murders. They presented overwhelming evidence: forged wills, altered medical records, drug traces in victims' bodies, computer evidence proving record tampering. But Shipman remained calm throughout the trial. He denied everything. After weeks of testimony, the jury delivered its verdict: guilty. Shipman was convicted of 15 counts of murder and 1 count of forgery. He received life imprisonment with no chance of release. Chapter 9: The True Death Toll. After the trial, a massive government investigation was launched called the Shipman Inquiry. What investigators discovered shocked the world. They concluded that Shipman had murdered at least 215 patients. Some experts believe the real number could be over 250 victims. That makes him one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. And almost all of his victims trusted him as their doctor. Chapter 10: The Final Ending. While serving his life sentence at HM Prison Wakefield, Shipman remained silent. He never confessed. He never explained why he killed so many people. Then, on January 13, 2004, one day before his 58th birthday, prison guards found him dead in his cell. He had hanged himself using bedsheets. And with that, the man who secretly ended hundreds of lives met his own end in silence, ending suspenseful closing. The story of Harold Shipman remains one of the most disturbing cases in criminal history. A man who swore an oath to save lives instead became a cold-blooded killer hiding behind a stethoscope. And the terrifying truth is, many of his victims never suspected a thing. Final call to action. If you want to hear more real crime stories that shock the world, subscribe to Real Files of Crimes, because the next case we open might be even darker.